realized that Marty's development was different. You like it?
It is.
What is it? Yeah, watermelon. And then this day, this one day that I'll never forget happened, and that was the day that we were called in for an appointment after all of the assessments had been done by the developmental pediatrician. And it was on that day that she told us that based on the test that she had conducted, based on her evaluation, based on her observation, everything pointed to Marty being autistic, being on the autism spectrum. And my husband, Ernest, and I just crying. We had so many questions for the doctor, and she had so few answers. We both are lawyers, both trained in evidence and in science, and are both, like things black and white. And this was the complete opposite. There were no easy answers, not a lot of responses. But we left that office just committed to doing everything we could to help our son. I had become a full-time advocate again without identifying myself in that way. I was convinced that Marty shouldn't be in a segregated classroom, a special education classroom, that he should receive support for his disability, but in a general classroom, what they call an inclusive classroom. They fought me, and they refused initially to do that. And I sued the school district, and we won, and he was able to gain placement in that classroom. And I can remember vividly his grown adult first grade teacher refused to talk to Marty. He was so angry and so petty and so narrow-minded that he literally isolated Marty and set such a horrible example for the kids in that classroom, for the other parents, and that did nothing but strengthen my resolve. And at some point, it became clear to me that what I was experiencing wasn't an aberration. It wasn't just my family, that there were hundreds, if not thousands of families who experienced something very similar. And that's what led me to starting the nonprofit Special Needs Network. Special Needs Network is a 501c nonprofit, California-based, but with a national footprint that I started when Marty was still very young. Despite feeling so overwhelmed and clearly nobody's expert, I had more information than a lot of these parents. And what also became clear to me is that I had the ability to find out the answers, to get the answers to a lot of these questions. And so that's what I did. I started, I went back to my law firm and I told the lawyers in my firm, I said, look, we're gonna start a disability rights practice. We're gonna become experts in disability rights. Fast forward to today, we have over 500 employees. We have 6 locations throughout the state of California. We have an 8-figure budget. And we are serving tens of thousands of families throughout the state of California. We are one of the state's premier organizations working at the intersection of disability rights and social justice, really focused on underserved communities.
I am the founder, though, and president of Special Needs Network, and I'm so excited to see all of you here and to welcome you to Camp JPAC.
Special Needs Network has always been this organization that sees a problem and solves a problem. That's what we're good at. We see problems, we solve problems, we see holes, and we step in. We fill the gap, we fill the void when there is something lacking in our community. So we saw this problem. We saw the kids weren't able to go to summer camp. I was paying some exorbitant amount for Marty to go to a summer camp. There were so many other families that we served through Special Needs Network that didn't have those kind of financial resources to pay for summer camp. So I said, you know what, we'll just create our own summer camp. We have now grown this camp. In a typical summer, we get upwards to 200 kids.
I have been telling her story for as many times as I run into somebody. I always encourage them to try JPAC, that they are not just for special needs or fully inclusive. And I just really, never having met her except for today, appreciate so much everything that she has done for our population. We need more people like her that are willing to see a need and step out on faith and not get scared to find out where that can lead.
We're such strong believers in the notion that kids with special needs should not be isolated, should not be segregated, but that they should have the full experience as any other child.